Get your reactions ready. The live portion of the show will begin in just a moment.
Driven the other way and deep. Giancarlo Stanton's got it again.
Today is Saturday, July 15th, and the Yankees were in Colorado to take on the Rockies for Game 2 of a 3-game weekend set. Clark Schmidt was on the mound. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is NYY Recaps.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I literally had to dust off the fun hat tonight, the victory hat. It's been a while since the Yankees won a game. It was actually accumulating dust. I hate to say it, but it is 100% true. So, finally a solid night for the Yankees offense. They scored 6 runs. They pick up a 6-3 victory and even the series against the Rockies. Now, 6 runs in 2 innings and then nothing afterwards. So, baby steps. Baby steps. And look, I don't want to take all the credit for these 6 runs tonight, but I did have chicken parm for dinner. And I got to admit, it was premeditated that it was to change the Yankees' mojo. I was thinking about what should I have for dinner? And I looked around and I said, we could use a little bit of a momentum shift. Maybe I'm going to try the chicken parm tonight. So I ordered some chicken parm and it was absolutely delicious. Another good night for Giancarlo Stanton. He's homered 4 times in the last 4 games. On the broadcast, they said 4 straight games, but that is not true. He had 2 on July 8th, nothing on July 9th, and then homered yesterday and today. So 4 home runs in 4 games sandwiched around the All-Star break. I also think it's noteworthy and gives me hope that Gleyber Torres has come out of the break like a bat out of hell. Maybe he's going to adjust with Sean Casey or just have a great second half, Don Mattingly always said that the job of a hitting coach is to keep your hot players hot and to eliminate the cold streaks or keep them as short as possible. DJ had a multi-hit game today. Maybe that's the beginning of a second half rebound for him. He's somebody I think that actually also might benefit from Sean Casey's experience because if he's not physically done and he still hits the ball hard, so maybe there's something left in there, he's never been a mechanics guy. So maybe Casey can make 1 or 2 tweaks and he'll start making hard contact again. Got something in my eye over there. But he hit the ball hard tonight. He had a line drive that was, I think, 104 miles an hour off the bat. So nice job by him. And Colorado's one of those ballparks where, it can really boost your numbers if you come in and swing the bat well because it's a big outfield. The ball travels well. It's a chance to pick up a couple of home runs, even if you're not a big home run guy. Kat's coming up here to say hello. Hello, Kat. But we had a question last night, a comment actually, that I wanted to touch on before we get into the recap, because I took for granted that most people know this. I grew up with it, but Colorado is not just the typical ballpark. I know that the dimensions are the same, but the elevation is what makes it different. Last night, I was trying to convince people to keep their wits about them after a tough outing from Carlos Rodon, and I talked about how Colorado allows more runs than any other ballpark. And there's 2 reasons that it's tough on pitchers, and they both stem from the elevation. The air is thinner, and so the ball has less resistance from the air when it's in flight, so it leads to more home runs. And, 3, really. It actually affects, the break on the breaking ball as well, because there's less resistance, the Bernoulli effect. But also, I think pitchers get winded because the air's thinner. You're not getting as much when you breathe. The pitching is the toughest activity to do other than maybe catching. So, it's tough to be a pitcher in Colorado for a lot of reasons. But Clark Schmidt did a fantastic job tonight. He did a much better job than I thought he would do. As a breaking ball guy, the thinner air I thought would wipe out his curveball. But or at least make it less consistent. But his sweeper, whatever you want to call it, was phenomenal tonight. He also had a good cutter tonight through strikes. Outstanding job. Outstanding. We saw Rodon have to adjust last night. Took him a few innings. And I got a call. I want to play this. This was a voicemail I got today where somebody was asking me, what were you watching? What game were you watching? This is funny.
Oh, this is Tony from Branford, Connecticut. Derek, what game were you watching? Rodon's stuff was good. I shut the game off after the second inning.
Yeah. So the game I watched went on past the second inning, where I thought, his velocity picked up, and I thought his breaking ball in the last inning, the fifth inning especially, was much sharper. Took him a while to adjust. Cat, would you quit it? Took him a while to adjust to, the conditions in Colorado, but, ultimately I thought he put it together at the end. But, Clark Schmidt just had no problems tonight. No problems. Hey, look, before we get to the recap, I also wanted to mention that, we haven't done many Martian trackers this year. Jason Dominguez has been struggling. We're going to take a look at the minor league numbers in a little bit, but he hit his 11th home run of the season today. He's had 6 multi-hit games in July. He's hitting .310 this month. And listen, if he stays hot, he could be in AAA soon. And then, as we like to say, you're just one pulled hamstring away from the big leagues. All right, on to tonight's game. I don't know if it's partially due to Sean Casey or not, but Gleyber Torres has opened up the second half on fire. Had another couple of hits tonight, led off the game with a triple. Giancarlo got him in for the first run of the game with a productive out. Now, Clark Schmidt did give it right back in an unfortunate way. He balked in the runner from third. When you've got a runner on third, that's pretty much the least likely outcome for a pitcher to allow that run in, because most pitchers are very aware of not wanting to balk in the run from third, especially with 2 outs. And Clark Schmidt, he didn't realize what he had done, but it's something that you don't see a lot because, well, one, you don't see a lot of balks in general, but most pitchers, once they have that run 90 feet away, they're very careful about, doing everything by the book. Yankees did bounce right back in the second. Sac fly from Higashioka, RBI single from Gleyber Torres, and then Big G.
Hey, home run for Stanton.
This night is a wrecking machine. The ultimate male versus the ultimate meatball.
3-run jack from Mr. Giancarlo. As I mentioned before, a lot of you were on, 4th home run in 4 games. And, we need him to be nuclear Stanton for a while Judge is out. We need him to, do some damage. He's starting to put it together. I'm glad that the break didn't cool him off, but we could use one of those streaks. I kind of wish it had been 4 games in a row, like they said, because Don Mattingly, when he hit 8 in a row in 87, that was also sandwiched around the All-Star break. So that would have been some nice little, history callbacks. I probably would have been showing a lot of Mattingly highlights, but, it is what it is. So, good that the All-Star break didn't cool him off. And, it's good that Sean Casey is exposed to the red-hot version of Giancarlo Stanton right away so that he can mentally go there whenever Stanton starts to come out of the funk and maybe get him back on the rails quicker than we've seen from Giancarlo under these other hitting coaches. But aside from that, story was Clark Schmidt. And given the ballpark that he was pitching in, did an outstanding job. He had 6 dominating innings, gave up a leadoff home run in the 7th. Boone came out and got him right away. Final line, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. In the top of the 7th, Josh Donaldson grounded out and limped off the field again. We saw that happen after a pop-up in one of the final games of the first half. Might have been the final game, but he stayed in the game. but he kind of had some calf issues. Pay attention to the postgame, which is happening right now, and see if anything is mentioned. This time he walked into the clubhouse with the trainer. You know, I'm not going to complain if we remove his 140 average from the middle of the lineup. You know, I don't want anybody to be hurt, but would I complain if he was replaced by Oswald Peraza right now? No, I would not. Or Andres Chaparro tomorrow showing up in Coors. He's got 17 home runs. He's not on the 40-man roster, I don't think, so it's less likely than Peraza. But, you know, look, I think we've gotten pretty much all we're going to get out of Donaldson, and the legs are starting to go, obviously. Volpe made a very nice defensive play in the 8th inning. And the Yankees hang on to win Game 2 of the series.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win. You're a winner.
So, reminder, there is no show tomorrow. I've got an afternoon appointment. I will be on with Pete on the Designated Spitters podcast tomorrow evening. I think we're going to do it a little bit later than usual, probably around 8:30 to accommodate for my my schedule. But, hey, Yankees win this one. That means we got to hand out the belt. 2 guys I thought most deserving. Obviously, Giancarlo with 4 RBIs, the big home run. But to me, the man who stood out was Mr. Clark Schmidt.
Let's go. Belt winner.
Anyway, so I see a lot of people debating Aaron Judge in the in the comments. You know, Judge is the team, and then somebody said 60 home run years, and you guys drank the Kool-Aid. I mean, it's hard not to drink the Kool-Aid after 60 home runs. I mean, how many times has that been done in history? You know, it was impressive, and he was the captain. I mean, well, he wasn't the captain until after they re-signed him, but he was the de facto captain. He was, you know, we're seeing now what this team would be if you didn't re-sign Judge. And he was mostly healthy last year. He was mostly healthy the year before that. I think he had like an illness or whatever. But, you know, Judge has had some freak injuries. A lot of them are due to impact, you know, whether he got hit by a pitch, diving for a ball, running through a wall. I think he just needs to, you know, create less impact, you know, with his body. You know, play the game safe. Just understand that you're bigger and stronger and heavier than everybody. And when you collide with stuff, it's going to hurt your body. It's just more mass. So, anyway, let's take a look at the box score for tonight. Brought to you by the Game Time app, which is where you can go to get last-minute tickets on events all over the United States. Not just sports, but obviously baseball, basketball, football, soccer, hockey. What else we got? We got theater. We got comedy. Anything you want, Game Time has it. Use the code NYY Recaps for $20 off of your first purchase. And join the fastest growing ticket app in the world. All right, taking a look at this box score. You see the Yankees had 8 hits tonight. They only gave up 6. Torres with 2 hits. LeMahieu with 3 hits. Stanton, Rizzo, and Bader, the other hits. McKinney took the collar. So did Volpe. So did Higashioka. Look, a lot of people still tough on Volpe in the comments. And look, if that's the type of fan you want to be, if you want to beat up on the kid when he's down, that's fine. I still think he's adjusting. He's shown me a lot of good things. Made another great play today in the field. And maybe with a competent hitting coach. Look, keep in mind, he played the first half of his career. The first half season of his career. The entirety of his career minus the last 2 games. With an incompetent batting coach who got fired. So let's cut the kid some slack. Maybe Casey can teach him how to hit the big league level a little bit better. So obviously Schmidt, nice job tonight. ERA down at 4.31. Canely gave up his first run of the season. ERA at 0.55. And let's take a look at Dominguez and some other rookies. So Dominguez, you can see now hitting 213. He was at 198 about a week ago, so he's on the rise. got 25 steals. You know, they talk about how hard he hits the ball. He's definitely been unlucky. Batted ball profile has been solid. And he's apparently making a lot of strides defensively, too. We're hearing good things recently about him defensively. But look at the game logs. I don't know if they put tonight in there yet, but I'm going to scroll down and just kind of show you his recent games. So, yeah, they do have today in there. So, multi-hit game today, yesterday, 4 days ago, the day before that. So, over the last week or so, a lot of improvements. He's raised his average about 15 points. Oswald Peraza, still down there at AAA, hitting .261, 12 home runs, 28 RBIs. I would take him over Josh Donaldson tomorrow if you could make that happen. Even as a third baseman, limited experience at third base, I like his glove. I like his arm. I think he was obviously a sharp defender, a sharp enough defender to play shortstop last year. I think he was a better shortstop defensively than Volpe, but the Yankees went with Volpe. Long term, I think they like his offense a little bit better. But would not shock me if eventually one of these next couple of seasons they make the swap where Oswald Peraza is a shortstop, Volpe's the second baseman. Maybe they want to keep Gleyber Torres, try and re-sign him. I don't know. It seems unlikely, but if you can get him to take a team-friendly deal, that might be something they do. I think a lot of fans, especially people in this chat, don't want to re-sign him because he's had a lot of mental errors, and defensively he's made a lot of physical errors. But he's one of the Yankees' more consistent offensive players, as you saw tonight and yesterday. So, the Yankees have a lot of decisions to make. I think the trade deadline is going to solve some of these problems. I think they're either going to move Gleyber or they're going to move Peraza or move some of their other shortstop prospects. You've got Roderick Arias, and we should take a look at Roderick Arias as well. He was the number one international signing a couple of years ago and has been really, really good so far this year, hitting .283 with 6 home runs and 25 RBIs. He's just 18 years old, folks. Now, he is in rookie league, but he's doing a nice job. He struck out 25 times. It's a little high, but he's got 13 stolen bases already. He's a switch hitter. He's got a .437 on-base percentage, and teams are asking about him in trades. And look, he's a shortstop, but he's far away. Now, we are seeing players get to the major leagues a little bit quicker these days, so maybe somebody's got an eye on him as like a 2-year trip through the minor leagues, the way he's playing right now. And that might be able to fetch us a decent player at the deadline, so we'll see. Everson Pereira, another guy that we need to look at. One of the only Yankees hitting for a good average, a legitimately good average. I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah. Hitting .309, 11 home runs, 40 RBIs, 7 stolen bases, 22 years old. He's a center fielder. He could obviously play left field. The only issue is that he's a right-handed hitter. The Yankees already right-handed heavy. But give me a righty that can hit over a lefty who can't, and I'll take it every day of the week. All right, let's get to some of your comments here. Christian says that right calf injury for Donaldson. You have to imagine that that's going to send him to the IL, and calf injuries can take a long time to heal. That legitimately could keep him out for most of the season. Let's say it takes 6 weeks to heal. He's coming back for September. That's it. And by then, my guess is somebody else would have grasped that position. He's getting an MRI. Good to know. Good to know. I'd imagine they're going to put him on the IL regardless. And, call up Peraza. Might be time. All right. Let's see. Jonathan Davis says, give me Cody Bellinger. Clay Bellinger was his dad, played for the Yankees several years ago back in the Dynasty era. But I think Bellinger's swing is perfect for Yankee Stadium. Obviously, not going to be cheap. And has had some dips in his career in the past in terms of his numbers, but I think he's back. I think he's put it together. And maybe having Sean Casey as a hitting coach, as we look at the highlights, could help him. A lefty who played a long time in the major leagues, was a solid hitter. This was the triple to lead off the game from Gleyber Torres and Giancarlo with the productive out, bring in a run. I think Casey could definitely help out Bellinger if the Yankees go get him. Maybe help him hit for a little bit higher average. He doesn't hit for a bad average. He's hitting around 290 right now. Home run from Stanton, opposite field power from Mr. Giancarlo, 11th of the year. This was the snare by Volpe. Kid's got ups. What can you say? Hopefully he gets hitting soon. But that's going to wrap things up here. Let's take a couple more comments.
Game over. We're gonna get out of here.
Copenhagen is really giving Judge a hard time. He says, how is the guy who's hurt every year captain? Look, if you're not a Yankee fan,
You gotta go.
if you're not a Yankee fan, just go away.
Most impressive.
Siddharth says, Bellinger's a 3-month rental. How much do you think it would cost? Well, I think the need is so apparent that it's going to drive the price up, and the Yankees always have kind of like a built-in tax. And you have to worry about other teams trying to get him to block the Yankees from getting him. So I think the cost might actually be significant. I don't think it's going to be a top 5 prospect, but it might cost you like a Drew Thorpe or a Will Warren or, Clayton Beeter. A good arm that you're counting on. Could cost you an Everson Pereira. Could cost you an Oswald Peraza. I don't think it's going to cost you a Dominguez. But we'll see. Dr. Hitson says, cancel Copenhagen. Look, people are allowed to have opinions, even if they're wrong, but you're not allowed to just come in here and trash the captain. The fans will sick you out. Mike O'Toole says, thoughts on Cashman finally pulling some strings on some meaningful moves at the deadline. I think what the Yankees do over the next couple of weeks is really going to tell us a lot about the direction that he wants to go. Will he have the cojones to go out and do something impactful? I don't know. I also think that there's a non-zero chance that they could call up Dominguez if he gets hot, or call up Pereira and just go with internal guys. But I guess we'll find out. We don't have to wait too much longer. A couple of weeks till the trade deadline. Reminder, I am off tomorrow. Unfortunately, I've got to take that other computer in and the Apple store, they are horrible about, booking appointments. You got to book several days in advance. And so I got to drive out there, take that computer that I spilled coffee on, and hope that they can somehow fix it. I didn't get much coffee on it. I've been drying it out, but it still won't turn on. So hopefully they can fix it. If not, oh well. That's just that's life, and that's how you live it. I'll see you next time.
Ball game over.
Most impressive.